What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to your stimulus package update and daily news report for Sunday, December 26th. Hopefully yesterday you guys had a great and a very Merry Christmas. One thing I just want to say is that over the past few days we've been getting a bunch of different updates. We've been getting a lot of new reports, and I want to address some of those things today. First, I've been seeing a lot of people on YouTube and on social media saying that we're going to get this $2,000 stimulus check. Okay, we're going to get another $1,800 stimulus check, and a few that said we're getting additional $1,400 checks. Here's what you need to understand. Are there $1,400 stimulus checks coming? Yes, there are still checks coming, but it's because the IRS is still sending out stimulus checks to people that didn't get their $1,400 checks. So those are still going to come out. We know the $1,800 stimulus checks, or so-called stimulus, that's actually in reference to the pretty much part two, or the second half of the $3,600 child tax credit payments. So these people, or these accounts, or media outlets that are saying an additional $1,800 coming, just understand it is coming to certain people, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. We still have a ways to go. So just keep that in mind. When it comes to the second half of the child tax credit payments, you actually have to go and file your taxes in order to receive the second half. So it's a little bit, there's a little bit more to it than just applying, or just saying, hey IRS, I have 2 kids, send me this money. There's a little bit more to it. So not much, but just a little bit. Now, one thing I also want to say is right now, Democrats are pretty much saying that, okay, we had a good Christmas. We're now ready to start working. They're ready to get something done. And according to multiple aides, they're saying that that Democrats are not going to stop until this bill is passed. And which bill? Which bill are they working on? Here's what I can tell you. What we know is that Democrats have a pretty straightforward plan. The first thing that they want to do, the first week they come back from recess, which should be the week of January 10th, the first thing that Democrats plan to do is pass a voting rights bill. That's the first thing that they want to do. The second thing, which is going to take a little bit longer according to reports, they will continue to negotiate with other Senate Democrats over the scope and the scale of the Build Back Better Act. Some say that it just didn't cover enough stuff. Others say it was too big or it was too small. Here's the problem. If the scope wasn't wide enough, it didn't cover as much stuff, but then at the same time, people want to scale the bill down, make it cheaper, that creates an issue. Because how do you build in more stuff, more provisions, more to the American people, but yet you make the bill smaller? It's not a good strategy. So here's what I can tell you. And what we found out over the past week or so is that Senator Joe Manchin is not the only Democrat that opposes the Build Back Better Act. What we know at this time is multiple Democrats, progressives mainly, are pushing for more. They want to see the scale much bigger. But at the same time, moderates are saying that we have to actually scale this down, make it smaller, make it less expensive, because by making it smaller and less expensive, what happens is less provisions will be included. And when less provisions are included, it makes it easier to get all 50 Senate Democrats on board. The problem was there was too many moving parts. Just too many moving parts. And many moderates didn't like this. But at the same time, and keep this in mind, moderates want to make it smaller, progressives want to make this bigger. Because they say that's why it didn't pass. Because the constituents came to their senator and were like, there's nothing in here for us. What happened to all these provisions to make it better? Right? What happened? Well, here's what I can tell you. They weren't included. But will they be included? Possibly. We'll just have to wait and see. But what we do know, Senator Joe Manchin, he doesn't support this bill. There's multiple reasons why. I don't want to get into that in this video because for a lot of people, just hearing the name Joe Manchin makes them upset because the bill was very close to getting passed, according to reports. But Senator Joe Manchin said, no, absolutely not. But according to those same reports, Senator Joe Manchin wasn't the only one that didn't support the bill. He was just the one that was kind of leading the whole thing. He was the head of the opposition. Well, here's what we know. Senator Kyrsten Sinema, she wants changes done to the tax provisions. We know Senator Bernie Sanders, he wants to see Medicare pretty much expanded more than what it is or what it was. Because there was only an agreement to get Medicare expanded by hearing. Hearing was the only thing that was going to be included. That was an issue. But possibly the biggest hurdle. This is something that we don't talk a lot about, but the biggest hurdle, according to multiple reports, is the fact that Democrats say that they keep on fighting with the Senate parliamentarian. So one of the things that Democrats are going to have to do is go back to the Senate parliamentarian, Elizabeth McDonough, and try to figure out how they can get immigration included. Immigration's the one hurdle that they're facing. But keep in mind, this is just one person. The Senate parliamentarian is just one person. Now, try to be a middle party, okay? But, neutral ground. But here's the problem. Immigration has already been pretty much axed, 3 times? 3 times in the past 6 months? And Democrats say that they are going to get that included, that this is their best shot. So, we'll see what happens there. But what I can tell you is that there's a lot of discussions going on right now. Now, a lot of people across the country have been saying that the residents of West Virginia are going to simply vote Senator Joe Manchin out. That he's done, he's gone, and as soon as he's gone, we can pass these bills. Well, here's what you need to keep in mind. The truth is that business leaders, and this all comes out today, business leaders and residents of West Virginia have actually been backing Senator Joe Manchin's opposition to the Build Back Better Act. They say that he's actually listening to them. He's listening to what they want, and that's what they want in a leader. Somebody that actually listens to the residents, to the businesses, and not just follows behind the Democratic leadership. So, we'll see what happens there, but as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all the latest news and updates. Here's something else I thought was fairly interesting that came out this morning. Reuters is reporting that the world economy will top $100 trillion sometime in 2022. This will be the first time in history that it ever does this. It also is reporting that China will actually take an additional 2 years in order to overtake the US as the world's #1 economy, and it could potentially happen by 2030. What they're also saying is that the United States will most likely take up many other things in order to combat this, because the US leadership does not want to be ranked #2 behind China. That's not a good look. They do not want to do that. We also know Germany is on track to overtake Japan by 2033. Russia could actually become a top 10 economy by 2036, and Indonesia could become a 9th place economy by 2034. What we know is that this COVID pandemic has really hurt many economies. Some are going to bounce back very nicely, very easily, while others are going to suffer for the long term. So we'll see what happens there. Now in COVID news, what we're hearing is that the at-home COVID tests, the COVID testing kits, these are still very difficult to get. I addressed this last week that, yes, the Biden administration is planning on sending 500 million at-home COVID test kits, but the problem is we don't know when they're going to be available for shipment. So many people right now are struggling because they have to go wait in a line. Let's say you get a cough, you get a little cold, little sniffle, scratchy throat, whatever. Well, some of those are signs of Omicron. Well, what we're hearing is that when you go to work and you have this little sniffle, what many employers are asking is go get tested, go make sure that you are not positive, and then you can come back. Okay? Here's the problem. People have to go wait in lines. in lines. It's not as simple as, just go do a little nose swab, at home. Here you go, here's my negative test. You got to go wait in a line, because places like Walgreens and CVS, they not only are implementing test kit limits for buyers, but in some stores, they can't even get the testing kits in. So, here's what I can tell you. Many employees are frustrated because they have to go wait in a line, take a day off of work, wait in a line, maybe wait a second day in order to get their COVID test results back, and they're not getting reimbursed for this. And so that's turning into a big problem. And some are saying that why even go and get tested? And so here's what's happening. Hospitals are now reporting that they're being asked by multiple patients just to give them something. Give them a quick remedy. Just a quick little solution to get them back on their feet, to get them to stop, sniffling, coughing, right? If they can do this, and they can try to overcome their small little symptoms, they're saying they can go right back to work. They don't even have to get tested. Well, that creates other issues, because by doing so, you could potentially be infecting your entire office building, your entire floor, whatever, right? And so that's turning into a big issue. We also know that hospitals are reporting that they're actually at capacity in many places. Many are doubling up patients because they have no other choice. But according to reports, the good news is that this Omicron variant is much less severe than Delta. So deaths due to COVID at these hospitals are really not the main concern. So that's what we know at this time. But as always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share more. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys had a very Merry Christmas. Have a great end to your weekend. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.